Have you ever been so captivated by someone's charisma that you started questioning your own grip on reality? Welcome to the world of the Reality Distortion Field, where impossible dreams are sold as inevitable futures, and sometimes you're the one paying the price. Originating in the 1980s tech world, the term was coined by an Apple engineer who had spent enough time around Steve Jobs to wonder if the man might actually be bending space-time, or at least the truth. Imagine this. You're a developer, overworked and undercaffeinated. Steve Jobs walks in, casually ignores the laws of physics, and tells you to create the impossible by next Tuesday. You try to object, but his sheer conviction pulls you in. Suddenly, you're nodding along, thinking, yeah, sure, I'll just rewrite the laws of computing before lunch. That's the essence of the Reality Distortion Field. It doesn't matter if the math doesn't add up. Jobs made people believe in his vision so fiercely that they often delivered it. But Steve Jobs wasn't just playing with your head, he was playing with the world's. Take the original iPhone. Before 2007, touchscreen phones were clunky science experiments. Jobs stepped onto that stage and convinced us all that we needed this sleek rectangle in our lives. By the time the presentation was over, the world wasn't asking, do we want this? It was asking, how do I sell a kidney to afford one? And he's not alone in this magic act. Enter Elon Musk, a man who wakes up in the morning and decides the human race needs to colonize Mars. Never mind the fact that we can't even keep potholes under control here on Earth. Musk's RDF is so strong, he convinced people to strap themselves into flamethrowers and call it innovation. Every Tesla delay, every SpaceX explosion, it's just another step in the big picture. And somehow investors keep pouring in billions. You almost admire it until you realize his timelines make your toddler's concept of time look reliable. But the Reality Distortion Field isn't always a force for good. Let's talk about Elizabeth Holmes, the Steve Jobs wannabe who brought the RDF to healthcare, complete with a black turtleneck uniform. Her company, Theranos, promised to revolutionize blood testing, but there was one tiny issue: the tech didn't work. Still, her charisma turned non-functional prototype into $9 billion valuation. Investors lined up, dazzled by her vision. Patients, on the other hand, got inaccurate results and shattered trust. When the field finally collapsed, it wasn't just her investors that were left bleeding. Of course, not all RDFs are tech-centric. Winston Churchill, for example, wielded his own brand of distortion during World War II. With nothing but his voice and a lot of cigars, he convinced a bombed-out Britain that victory wasn't just possible, it was inevitable. People clung to his speeches like lifeboats in a storm, despite the very real chance they were all going under. That's the kind of distortion we applaud, because it rallied a nation when hope was in short supply. But even Churchill might have admitted, off the record, that he was selling optimism on credit. Now, let's not forget Walt Disney, a man who took the phrase pipe dream and turned it into a billion-dollar empire. When Disney proposed building Disneyland, skeptics thought he'd lost his mind. Amusement parks at the time were grimy, slightly terrifying places. But Disney's RDF turned dirty carnival into family wonderland. The man could have sold you a brick and made you feel good about it. And honestly, he probably did. Those commemorative bricks at the park entrance aren't going anywhere. But not all RDFs are harmless fun. Cult leaders are walking, talking distortion fields with far darker intentions. Jim Jones convinced over 900 people to follow him to Guyana and drink the Kool-Aid in one of the most horrifying demonstrations of charisma gone wrong. Here, the RDF wasn't about innovation or inspiration, it was about control. And it serves as a chilling reminder of what happens when charisma overrides critical thinking entirely. So, how does the Reality Distortion Field work? Psychologists might say it's a combination of charisma, storytelling, and the human brain's tendency to latch onto conviction. When someone believes in something so completely, it's contagious. Add a good dose of emotional resonance, and suddenly, people start aligning their reality with the leader's vision. It's a powerful tool, but like any tool, it can build or destroy. In today's world, the RDF has gone global, amplified by social media and endless PR campaigns. Politicians, celebrities, and influencers are the new masters of perception, convincing millions to buy into their brands, their policies, or their products. Ever bought something because an Instagram influencer told you it was life-changing? Congratulations, you've been hit by a mini RDF. But here's the question. Is the reality distortion field inherently bad? Not necessarily. When used responsibly, it inspires innovation and rallies people around ambitious goals. The iPhone changed the world, Tesla is redefining transportation, and Churchill helped save a nation. But when RDFs cross the line into manipulation, when they ignore reality entirely, they become dangerous. They breed disillusionment, financial losses, or worse, outright harm. So the next time you find yourself nodding along to a vision that sounds too good to be true, pause. Take a step back. Ask yourself, am I seeing reality or am I caught in the field? Because while the RDF might deliver miracles, it's always worth checking if there's a trapdoor beneath the magic.